So yeah, the State Department provided this intelligence support, which they ultimately gathered from the CIA. But the CIA did what's known as black propaganda. That's where you spread fake documents that you purport are from a group you're trying to slander, making it look like they're putting out propaganda, saying things they aren't saying. And it's intentionally meant to scare people. It misrepresents the views of a group, makes them waste time denying that they said this thing because they didn't. The US often historically uses this internally, even though this should be illegal to do. Really should. The FBI COINTELPRO against left-wing groups like the Black Panthers, where black propaganda, there'd be documents as pamphlets that would claim to be from the Black Panthers, but they're actually by the FBI. Make it look like they said things they didn't say, like violent things usually that they didn't say, to play up supposedly they're violent, to create political consent for trying to outlaw them, basically. With Reagan targeting with gun legislation, because they would open carry guns to protect against police brutality, to make the police afraid to, go and kill black people. Instead of being unarmed black people, there were, neighborhood watches that were armed in the area, basically. And this led to Ronald Reagan. Yes, that Ronald Reagan. The guy became president, restricting the right to carry weapons in California. Because he really didn't believe in the Second Amendment. That was he only believed in it for white conservative people. The moment the black leftists started carrying guns, he was all too happy to limit the right to carry guns. Some of our armored divisions have suffered heavily from desertion. War exhaustion. Yep. You have high war exhaustion. Then it reduces. They don't have any armored divisions right now. This is really cutting into my military. It's gonna take a while. I'm just gonna cancel the post-war rebuild. It's just driving me into debt, and I'm gonna finish this war quick. These terrorist cell, probably sponsored by foreign intelligence, because they may be Russian, because they upset them so much. Who knows who actually is behind this? Or knowing the game's bias, it could be Saudi Arabia, as if, European powers didn't sponsor terrorists. Russia would absolutely do that. Sponsor terrorists, Putin's a bastard. But anyways, harsh weather. Bad weather is ruining our plans for the big offensive. Try to push ahead anyway, but it would cost us dearly. On the other hand, we can't allow ourselves to be by nature. Increase war losses, or just know what's late a little. There'll be another chance soon. Use his army tap modifier for a while. But the war losses, they're slow and expensive, and I'll just wait a while. I'll get some discontent. Let's see. Set up ambushes while these guys try and capture key cities. This frickin' song gets copyrighted and it gets misidentified as being by this other artist, then create an extremely suspiciously similar song. But it's not actually the one that's in the game soundtrack. And YouTube keeps copyright flagging. I pointed this out once and it got sustained that it wasn't actually this artist's work. It's too much work to prove every time. While our country's streets and towns burn, the entire world burns with curiosity to see the outcome of this conflict. So let's keep up to date with what's happening. Not always entirely truthfully, of course. Information war. Good idea. Relations on World +5, or there's no point really. Good score. Good idea. If it keeps Russia from attacking me, it'll be worth it. spin events in a way that proves relations with Russia, I guess. I don't know what that would look like. I would say it's the U.S. sponsored carousel. Could even be true. Probably isn't. But I'm pretty sure U.S. actually doesn't dislike me that much right now. Yep. Reasonable relations. I suspect Russia and U.S. hate each other right now. I finished national media. I can start on propaganda. What do you want me to do? Stubotnik. Which will increase my GDP growth rate, which is falling behind population growth. Not terrible, since if I annex more territory, I don't want to go to EM development. Slow my economic development down. But, Try another frontal advance that uses more infantry, actually, which I do have. The Second Coming, somewhere in the middle of Paraguay, a mysterious man is claiming to be the son of God. Apparently, he's quickly gaining popularity. Yeah, I never got that event when I tried playing as Paraguay. But I... 2063, maybe it's because... Operation Lost, frontal advance against terrorists in Venus. Oh, the famous happening in Venus. Interesting. Torturing prisoners. We've captured several important enemy officers that provide us some good intel, but thus far we haven't been able to make them talk. But some of our old school specialists could probably get them to. Ground defense, not that. Old schools in old Soviet, I think is the implication. Like, our Macedonia was part of Yugoslavia. Well, old school. If it was some other country, it could be like former U.S. supported dictatorship. Anyways, must learn we can for an army attack modifier, which is +2. Increase warmonger. No, there's no need for that. Less warmongering. Yeah, this game encourages you to do vile things sometimes, but thankfully this time it didn't even make sense. There's no question. Things use lots of infantry and aircraft, if possible. It's like frontal advance yet again. Just try and wear them down with prison on a colony. One of our trusted sources has given us an interesting tip. There are living aliens trapped in a secure facility in one of the space colonies. Our source is completely certain. We have no doubt that he wouldn't give us unconfirmed news. We must get our hands on this facility. Find the alien prison, gain control of a new space colony. Right. Turns out, actually, the game world are actually correct about that. It isn't here. Not on Venus. This stupid space prison full of aliens isn't here. Maybe we're on the wrong planet. Quickly gain control of another one before they move. Silly. Bet that area has space colony helped. Well, it's proven relations. And that adds to my unit capacity. Good time for it too. I got the tanks back. Alright, another frontal advance. War between Russia and Azerbaijan. It's them. I have my doubts about you. You're proven to be a true friend of our organization. Therefore, I will tell you the truth. What you see on TV during government debates is not real. It's just an illusion. What are they hiding? you may ask? They're hiding their real faces. Not all of them, but most of the important ones. They're shape-shifting reptilians. Yes, I know it is a shock for me. It was a shock for me too, but the reality is that they're trying to take control and possibly enslave the human race. In the game's storyline, this is supposed to be true, actually. We must show the world what they really are before it's too late. No one will believe us without proof, though, and the Fox's funds are running low after buying those Interstellar bikes last week. But don't worry, I took the liberty of borrowing some reserves in the national budget. Don't ask how, or else I'll have to kill you. Kidding, anyway, we will find the proof together, and the entire world will thank us when it's all said and done. What? That takes some resources. Blow it up. The alien prison isn't here either. Something isn't right. It must be hidden somewhere. Can't risk it. Blow it up. Just keep getting these recurring events just because I already have one space colony. Russia's at war with us, man. At least it's not making me conquer colony after colony. That would be tough since they tend to be held by like the US and stuff. Alright, want a frontal advance? No. Secure the front. Whew. This is high lethality. Both sides are... I'm just gonna have to throw everything I have into this. And capture the roads. More tanks. Bunch more infantry. A couple aircraft too. Let's see what I lose before I decide what else to go up. Got two, but it's fine. Spent too long talking the first part. Have stuff to dilute that out. So as mentioned before, the Indonesian genocide, I was actually reading an article by NGO which goes into great depth about this, and I knew, because I already knew some of it, how it was supported by the United States, how we gave military aid and unlimited military aid and technological aid to the government that was carrying out the genocide while it was going on, and apparently the US Embassy gave lists of known communists and suspected communists, which sometimes suspected on very flimsy grounds, to the Indonesian government, because one of the groups they were murdering is any communist they could find. But and there was the black propaganda campaigns by the CIA, which created fake propaganda that supposedly the Communist Party of Indonesia was putting out, but actually it was created by the CIA. This is a common CIA tactic to demonize groups, is to put out fake propaganda that a group didn't even create. And then you get, right-wing trolls, oh, they said this terrible thing, the leftists, because it's always the leftists. They never use this tactic against the right, because fascism is actually very much aligned with the US empire. Since the end of World War II, the US defeated the Nazis and then proceeded to work with most of the remaining fascists around the world, supporting far-right militias in Italy, for instance. CIA actually gave basically secret asylum to a lot of Nazi collaborators who had hid in actually parts of the American Midwest from parts of the State Department that were trying to hunt them down, because the State Department wasn't cool with it at the time, right after World War II. But that wasn't like 40s and 50s. By the 60s, 70s, the State Department had been co-opted to the point they probably wouldn't have done that if history repeated itself. They wouldn't have tried to actually head the Nazis. They did historically. You had this CIA and the State Department working against each other after World War II, which is probably part of why the State Department was moved to the right. Because the State Department was originally very much FDR's State Department, very progressive. But, you know, by the time of Nixon, by the time of Kissinger, it was working hand in glove with the CIA to commit murder all over the world. So, it came often covered for CIA operation. New NGO task. Don't place the safety of the country in foreign hands. Turn off all import and outsource projects. I don't have any outsourcing projects, but I kind of need imports. Considering otherwise, economy will collapse. At least with the scale of exports I'm doing, which are actually more in imports, but I'd lose higher resources if I cancel that. I'd have to cancel it to do that. Right. Shouldn't there be more follow-ups events about the whole space colony thing? Probably was a bug before, no, actually. The game considers it to be true. Probably I should find the prison once I actually acquire a new space colony. Didn't make sense, those events were triggering before. Infantry destroyed. Trying to capture roads. I'm running really low in military units here. Got more infantry. Almost done though. Throw into the meat grinder.